Ever make something cool that nobody wanted to buy? Yeah, me too. So let's fix it. Today, I'm gonna show you two crafts that actually sell. A personalized wood burn cutting board and personalized glitter ornaments. And the good news is that each one of these will take you less than 10 minutes. Let's get started. Here's the quick version. First, we're gonna sand, then we're gonna apply our stencil. Then we're gonna scrape on Scorch Paint, burn it into the wood with a hot air gun, and then add some finishing oil, and you're done. The next project I'm gonna show you is a glitter ornament. All we have to do is pop off the top, add some Maker's Magic, swirl it, pour it out, add in glitter, shake it, put the top back on, and you're done. Let's take this one step further because I like making money and I want to get paid to craft, and I'm sure you do too. So instead of just making personalized items, live stream the process. Set up a cell phone while you're making one of the cutting boards or the ornaments, and not only are you going to get more views and more love and money from TikTok for getting attention, more people are going to see you making this and want one for themselves or for a gift for the holidays. But on top of all of that, if you link our products in your TikTok live, you'll get 20% commission for anybody that makes a purchase. So now you're making money by getting customers for personalized items. You're getting paid, you're getting attention, you're getting more followers from TikTok Live. It can really add up to a lot. So now that I've got you and myself excited about this whole process, let me show you how to make this in less than 15 minutes. All right, what I have in front of me is a walnut cutting board, and you can find all of the products we're using in this video at scorchmarker.com in case you want to get them from yourself. We're gonna start by sanding it and prepping the surface. This is where a lot of the magic happens. If you skip the prep work, your design might not look that good. So we're gonna go from 120 grit sandpaper up to 240 and then up to 320 so we can have a nice smooth surface to work with. So let's start by doing that now. Now when we're sanding, we want to sand with the grain. We don't want to go against it. And don't worry if you're not getting a ton of sawdust or dust from sanding. A lot of the mesh will trap the sawdust in here to make it easier to clean up. Once we've gotten it nice and smooth, we can switch over to our next grit. Let's bump up to the 240 grit. Done? Now let's hit it with the 320 grit. This will give us a nice smooth surface to work on, and will reduce the chances of bleeding, wicking, or making our designs come out fuzzy. So don't skip this step. Now we need to wipe everything off and get it clean, because if we're using a stencil, we want it to stick, and it won't stick if the board is full of sawdust. See what I mean? So let's keep wiping it off until the paper towel or your cloth comes away clean. The next step is to grab our stencil. This is a mesh stencil I used the other day and I love it. But today we're gonna change it up a little bit, and instead of burning the bee into the wood itself, we're gonna skip the bee and we're going to apply a monogram letter right in the center. This way we can personalize the gift for anyone that wants to buy a personalized cutting board. And that's the secret to selling your projects online, in my opinion, is the personalization. We're gonna start by peeling the stencil off the backing. This is an adhesive mesh stencil that I made by exposing the UV light. We're gonna take it and put it right in the center of the board. Now, when we're pressing the stencil down, we wanna work our way from the inside to the outside. That way we don't get any creases or bubbles, just like origami. And now I prefer to use something like a roller, like this. It really helps smooth it all out and get all the air bubbles out of the stencil. Because if you have air bubbles, your paint is gonna slide underneath it and it's gonna cause bleeding and wicking, and we don't want that. You can also take the backing and use it to smoothly press out the stencil. Now we're gonna use Scorch Paint, apply it to the stencil, and set it up so we can burn our design into the wood. Your Scorch Paint should look just like this, like a thick gel. Now, if you stir it up, it will get thinner so you can paint it on. But today, I'm gonna use it in its thick state, like it comes, and scrape it over with a silicone brush. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit, and I'm gonna start scraping it across the stencil, just like this. You want a really thin layer, okay? So you don't have to go back over areas multiple times. As long as it darkens and you can see it seeping through the stencil, you're fine. What we don't want to do is use too much. That would be bad. So we're gonna be really careful to not get the bee design in here. Now, if you don't have mesh stencils, you can pick them up from some of the large stencil providers, or you can buy them on Etsy from mom and pop shops who like to make them. This one I had custom made for me by my friend who's a graphic designer, and I think she did a killer job. All right, looks like we got everything. We're done applying our Scorch Paint. Let's grab a paper towel and we're gonna blot away the excess. Now this is a very important step. You wanna place a paper towel or something absorbent over the paint, and you just wanna lightly press down on top. No rubbing, no scrubbing, nothing intense. You just lightly wanna pick up all that extra paint. A little goes a long way, and we just want a thin layer. See what it looks like when I peel it up? There's a lot of extra paint on there. When the paper towel looks like this, you'll know you've blotted away enough. Okay, let's remove the stencil. That looks pretty cool. Now we're gonna take the stencil and place it back on the stencil sheet because we can go to the sink and rinse this out with some water when we're done, and it's good for another use. So I'm serious when I say these are projects you can use to make money because you don't have to buy new materials for each one. Now, the next step is to put this W in the middle. So I'm gonna cut it just a little bit smaller, and we're just gonna stick it down right here just like that. So we're just gonna simply press it down, making sure it's nice and sealed. And then we're gonna come in here with our paint, but this time we're gonna use a paintbrush. We don't actually have to use a scraper on everything. You can use a brush. In fact, if you stir up the Scorch Paint, you can see how it turns into a liquid. This will make it much more paintable and easier to use. We've designed it this way so you can use either a silicone scraper or a brush like this. And we're just gonna come in here and just throw some paint on the stencil, and we're ready to heat it up. All right, we're done. Let's quickly blot away the excess to make sure we don't put too much on. All right, let's remove the stencil. Now it's time to heat it up. This is our Scorch Marker heat gun. Just about any hot air gun will work as long as it's 1500 watts or more. We want to get the surface temp to about 350. So this one has two settings, a low and a high. We're going to turn it on high and get it heated up, and then we're going to gradually apply heat to the design. What you want to do is you want to keep the heat gun about 2 to 3 inches away from the design, and you want to constantly keep it moving. If you stay in one place for too long, you risk scorching it and burning the wood, and we don't want that. You can always add more heat, but you can't take it away. What you're looking for is the design to go from red to blue, and then finally to black. Once it hits black, you know you've heated it up enough. So let's finish it up. We're done. It was that easy. It took literally a few minutes. But if you look closely, you can see there's a little bit of area where paint got underneath the stencil in the W. Let's fix it. You can either use a sanding block and a little bit of sandpaper, or a tiny razor blade, X-Acto blade, or anything sharp. You can just come in here just like this, and you can just ever so slightly scrape away at the wood grain, and you can clean it up perfectly and get those sharp lines that you want. So if you make a mistake somewhere, try scraping it away or sanding it, because Scorch Paint is deep enough to be permanent, but it's still shallow enough to be sanded away. It's not like wood burning tools where it makes large dents into the wood. That looks pretty great. Let's move on to the last step and apply some food safe finishing oil. Now we designed this finishing oil to contain only 3 ingredients because we want it to be safe for kitchens, cutting boards, to eat off of, and to use. What good is a cutting board if you're not using it? And then we're gonna grab a paper towel and we're simply gonna spread it out over the design. You can see how the wood starts to drink it up, and it really makes the scorch pop. This is my favorite part. Not only does the grain look beautiful, but the entire board looks beautiful. There we go. And just like that, we are done. A personalized cutting board with a monogram in the center that you can list on your website, Etsy, or any other marketplace where people are looking for personalized wood items. Now, let me show you an even easier project that you can get done in less than 5 minutes. Next, we're going to talk about personalized glitter ornaments, and I have something special in store for you. In fact, this is what we're going to be working with. This is a 4-inch clear oblong ornament, and they're very easy to make into personalized keepsakes for Christmas trees, Christmas time gifts, graduation, or anything else your marketing brain can think of to sell to people as personalized items. These sell for anywhere between $10 and $20 a piece on Etsy. And when you buy our kit, it comes with 12 plus everything I'm gonna show you in the video. So let me show you how this works. We're gonna start by grabbing our clear plastic ornament and popping off the top. We're gonna place it in the red solo cup like this to hold it steady for us. Now I've gone ahead and added some Maker's Magic to this squeeze bottle to make it really easy to put into the ornament. So what we're gonna do is take the Maker's Magic And we're gonna squirt a little bit of it into the ornament just like this. You only need about 1 finger's width at the bottom. Grab our paper towel, plug up the end, and we're gonna swirl it. What you wanna do is coat the entire inside of the ornament. Fantastic. Once that's done, you open up your bottle of Maker's Magic and pour the excess right back into the bottle. We wanna place it upside down in the red Solo cup until it takes more than 5 seconds in between drips. If you skip this step and add glitter too fast, it will not stick to the inside properly. It'll look a little funky. Now, a lot of people like to mix glitter together, and I like mixing glitter in these little cups like this, so I can pour it into the ornament. But today, it's gonna be really simple. We're just gonna do a pink. So I'm gonna pour some of the glitter into the cup like this. Now we're gonna grab another paper towel and we're just gonna wipe away the rim right here really quickly. Now we're gonna take our glitter and pour it into the ornament. Check this out. And as soon as you start shaking it, it will coat and cover the inside perfectly. So what I like to do is just twist it a little bit like this, and then I grab a paper towel to block off the end, and I give it a good shake. And we're done. Now we have a finished glitter ornament that's ready. It's already done. You don't have to wait for it to dry or anything. So what I'm gonna do is pour out some of that extra glitter so I can save it. And I'm gonna take the red Solo cup and I'm gonna use it to hold my ornament. And then I'm gonna grab the top right here and I'm just gonna slip it right back in. You do not have to wait for the ornament to be dry before you put the top back on. It will dry naturally. It gets plenty of ventilation. And there we have it, your very own custom glitter ornament. But we're not done yet. We need to make it personalized, right? So what I have in front of me is a letter from a mesh stencil. So I'm gonna apply the mesh stencil to the front and I'm gonna add a little bit of white paint just to make it pop. And I'm gonna grab the stencil and just put it right in the middle, just like that. Now what's important is that we press it down right where the letters are. You're gonna get bubbles because it's a curved surface and that's unavoidable. But as long as it's nice and tight right where the paint's gonna go, you're gonna be just fine. Now we're gonna grab a little bit of our white paint. I'm just gonna squirt a tiny bit on top of this little cup. I'm gonna stir it up and then we're gonna apply it to the stencil just like that. And just like that, we're done. We're gonna peel it off and there you have it. A custom monogram ornament that you can sell on Etsy. Now, if you make a mistake at this stage, it's okay. Like right here, I just wanna clean up that T just a tiny bit. So I'm gonna scrape just a tiny bit of it off with a razor blade. I can even come back in here with a brush and just tighten it up. Now remember, I'm a total novice when it comes to this stuff, but with a little bit of practice, I know that you're gonna be able to make even better personalized ornaments than what I've shown you today. Just add a little creativity, a little fun, a little flair, maybe some vinyl, maybe some glitter, and you're gonna be selling these like hotcakes in no time. Happy crafting.